Greetings everyone, here's Lodrick and this is the game War in the Pacific Advanced Edition. This is my play by email match against KilRoy. This is now the 19th May 1942 turn. We're playing the scenario once with no real modifications in 1 day turn setup. I just starting my counter assault on Pagan Island and unloading here more troops. More support units getting disabled, but again I can at least unload, and the same unit, we disabling each other here, and more important for me is that I always disable enemy combat squads to have later a more easy task to get rid of these forces and clean up the complete island and rebuild something. Here's a light cruiser. Unluckily my sub was in position fire but failed to hit, and again you can see British submarines. I think this was a Dutch submarine and a British submarine. They're creating immediately 6 hits on my ship in deep water, so my sub is maybe also now out of action, must return to base, cannot stay longer. So there is now the meaning that there's enemy task forces, and this is my, I think, local minesweeper running here in 2 enemy battle heavy cruisers. Okay, yeah, Northampton and Louisville. My local minesweeper is of course. Now the heavy cruisers are coming and bombarding Gisborne, and this time heavy disabled units. But again, this is a base force, so there's a lot of support, navy support and normal support. They are really not for fighting, and so long the shells are disabling only these units and not my combat squads, it's okay. Now the battleships. Again, mainly the damage is against these support units, but of course it will give overall fatigue and morale damage to the units. Yeah, but these are Japanese. They are, I think, okay with this, and like to be shelled by enemy fire. So losing the one cargo ship, get a 1,000 pound bomb last turn. Hopefully finish the unloading. This is now Saipan, and again the next attack, and my submarine is also now damaged and must return to base. So the amount of damaged submarines is mounting up. It's a clear indication that the good time for Japanese subs are maybe now over. Good. Invasion support. And still unloading of troops maybe. And of course, all of these forces are more or less like backup forces, so they don't have really training and preparation for this kind of amphibious assaults. It's a little wasteful, but again, like I said, it is simply only to react fast. So I try to attack an enemy is also weak, so it doesn't matter if many of my forces are getting disabled if they arrive at the location. So, and again, my submarine was able to attack this ship. This time it was a battleship attack, but no hit. 6 torpedoes all missed. So you can see how unlucky I am with my submarines. In Jochen game or in this game, I just barely break even. Now it's a Japanese APD trying to get rid of this American Mark 10 torpedo submarine, and 2 hits. Yeah, okay. These are short range submarines, they don't have so many hit points. And he has no other base. Once I take Pigan and Saipan, maybe Guam, and there's no base nearby for the Allies. And it's only Wake or Midway. Also, Old Way, of course. You can always go back to Pearl Harbor. So hopefully my carriers can clean up now all shippings around Saipan. Last turn was okay, sinking 3 or 4 APDs. But there's still so many other ships. So many scoutings here. Many scoutings. No airstrike in the morning. Looks like I lost in total maybe 2 cargo ships at the landing of Pegan, but I would still say it's okay. I use only really this cheaper cargo ships. So out of Truk, the next strike against this forward American base north of the Marshall Islands. Some cargo ships. Normally easy target. Somehow no hit so far. Hit but no explosion, so fuck. So 21 torpedoes, 1 hit but no explosion. Now maybe with a little more skill. I know they're attacking from the wrong side. Okay, 1 airplane makes the right attack, and the 1 airplane makes a torpedo hit. Fine. And the ship had cargo with fuel, so it's burning, and this will normally burn down. And with some troops on board, so you can see if the Nell bombers had a little more success, I could maybe destroy here again a lot of troops. Now I only create the minimum amount of damage. And looks like there's at least 1 carrier south of Marcus Island. Okay. Not that there's really much left in Marcus Island. And you can see that I scout in the morning and in the afternoon. My carriers find many targets, but I have not 1 airstrike going out of my carriers. So this is my invasion fleet from Pegan. There's 1 enemy destroyer showing up. And my heavy cruisers taking or can shield my cargo ships, so that I can get here no hits, and the Clark is now finally on heavy fire with 3 shell hits. So this is the Clark, had already 5 bomb hits reported. Now for sure 3 shell hits. Now it's for sure on heavy fire or fire. More unloading. So these are the units moving into Hamilton. These are some armored regiments, so maybe, I don't know. And but this was really not the strongest, it was only scout forces, and I kicked them out of the hex. One gets things destroyed, but I think this was only a partly unit, so a part of the force and a part of the 10th Armored Regiment. Okay. Also, other Japanese division catch here some Chinese corps. They're retreating. Always leftover forces. More bombardment of Rangoon. And again, more disabled, more destroyed, but at the end it's roughly the Allies have forces around 1000 attack value. Now Allied shock attack on Gisborne again, and yeah, unluckily I losing Gisborne. My forces are not destroyed, but must retreat to the north. So Allied forces still make bombardment here, not does matter. All forces retreating to the north, so nothing is destroyed so far. I losing the base temporary, just where I want to unload my supplies, so I come too late. So I must maybe find another way to get reinforcements to New Zealand. Good. The air losses for today, nearly nothing happened. Because my carriers don't want strike, and so no one lost anything. And because no one really attacked each other, so I lost 2 of my small 6-point cargo ships and a local minesweeper. This is unknown, but I don't know why. Maybe it's grounding. Maybe it was not an enemy attack. Maybe it can happen with a collision or something. I don't know. Sometimes this happens. So I was able to bring 1 division here down and to clean up here the road and kick out this Chinese unit. So that was a long time ago operation. Finally was able. Tanks are going to Inner Mongolia. So I bring some forces to Chongqing, and I also try to go to Chengdu. Chengdu is a very nice city. There's a panda park. So if you want to know where the real pandas are coming, they're coming here from this mountain area. And there's 2 or 3 panda parks. And Chengdu and all Sichuan is of course famous for the spicy hot pot and the very open-minded Chinese girls. So girls in Sichuan area are totally different from Shanghai area. Very much more interesting. Central China is more or less KilRoy is maybe not strong enough and he don't attack, and I cannot attack, and we block each other more or less. Nothing happens here in Rangoon. All is stable. Nothing really coming here in or out, so I also don't see any shipping, so I think that these forces are really maybe out of supplies soon, hopefully. I don't know more where's my carrier fleet. My carriers are here in, they're still in Singapore under repair. I'm not so sure. Oh, maybe the repair is just finished. So my carriers are here in Singapore in standby. I can normally go for India raid again or somewhere else. I also choose to send my battleships because I was thinking that I really need something near to New Zealand, some support. And I think the best way was that I say, okay, I take these two battleships. The blockade of Perth is not so important, and I sail south of Australia and then bring them these two battleships maybe to reinforce my presence in New Zealand. But of course, this needs time, especially after I lost here one or two submarines very early on or very fast. I don't know more. No, this one I think is damaged. Yeah. So this one gets 6 hits. It is also out of action. It's not more combat ready. I must return. So I lost here 1, 2, I think 3 submarines in less than a week. So I have here nearly no submarines left for the blockade of New Zealand, and there are enemy battleships, and I can really not really. It's crazy dangerous for me to go with heavy cruisers against battleships. I only can try it now because I simply assume that the battleships consume all the ammunition with the bombardment, so they are very low on heavy shells. This would be maybe opportunity to go in. Maybe I can take especially a night engagement, if I can go in torpedo range and luckily create one torpedo hit is enough already to cripple a battleship, so that the battleship is maybe out of action for 1 or 2 weeks, forced to return to Wellington and then maybe to Sydney, something like this. Nothing else happened here, so I have here this many tasks. I mean, I have here really many ships. Ships even in my same hex. But I don't know if there's a rule, if there's an enemy task force in your own hex that you cannot attack, but I can scout them all. So I scout all of these task forces with my carriers, but no airstrike. Or it's maybe because I'm low on fuel, but I don't know. I really don't know. This was again a turn where you can clearly see I can scout 5, 6, 7 different enemy task forces. But for some reason, not one of my airstrikes go out. And I get no information why. And I don't know if it's. I don't think it's the weather. This is impossible. I mean, there's maybe several storms, but partly clouded. Why this matters? And again, if I can recon them and scout them, then why I cannot make an airstrike? Where's the difference? Make no sense for me, or at least tell me why. This game give you no feedback. So the commander choose don't to attack because he think it's not worth to make no sense to attack. Then why he attack yesterday, but not today? Again, this is really very poorly written in this game. Why? So now last time I had 100 attack value or 110. Now I have 230 attack value. So more attack value is unloading. And I think that now is the unloading nearly finished. I have here one more AP get collision damage. Okay. But I would say this is maybe enough. There are 8,000 enemy troopers here and a lot of tanks and equipment for troop units. So I'm not so sure, but I have here this garrison units. They are normally really garrison units and not so good for attacking, but this is the strongest I have more or less ready for action now. They are, of course, they are fatigued and not so well organized, but I have also here the HQ. So I bring in a HQ, and many forces are from this HQ are disabled, so they're not really fighting. They only provide support. We will see if this is enough to take on these Americans. In worst case, I can bring in more battleship bombardments or heavy cruiser bombardments or anything like this. I don't know more where's. Yeah. And here's an enemy carrier, and it looks like this must be 2 carriers because it's over 100. So now I have, yeah, two. I mean, here is a lot of task forces I don't want to attack, or my commander don't want to attack. I have here my ongoing amphibious assault I must cover. At the same time, I know that American carriers are a source of Marcus Island. So the next two turns would be, or can be, more interesting. I'm also low on torpedoes, and you saw that I'm low on fuel, so I cannot stay much longer in the area. Sorties are low. Yeah, okay. This unit have, Shukaku have still full torpedoes. So Shukaku never make any torpedo attack so far. I'm not so sure why. Good, then see you next time. Take care, bye bye. Oh, maybe I forgot. The one stuff is, so I lost the Gisborne, yeah. I have here now one unit behind the line, and all of my other forces are here in the north. What I will do now is this Navy Guard units taking over the defense of Hamilton. I kicked out this Australian forces, so this is now secured, so that I can use this Navy Guard unit with full supplies and more or less ready, no fatigue. And this division have now the task more or less reconquer Gisborne. Because a full Japanese division is of course still stronger than all of these broken New Zealand Australian forces. Yeah, good, now it's enough. See you next time, take care, bye bye.